Okay, well, bad news. The crankshaft I ordered, well, does not have a provision for an oil pump drive on it. So I don't know what year Subaru it came out of, but it definitely didn't come out of the years I'm thinking. Or it had some different oiling system because there's no way to drive a oil pump on it, unlike this one. So upon further inspection, I'm looking at this, trying to clean up this rod journal. It's mostly surface contamination. I don't really feel a lot of horrible galling, and I think most of it was bearing material transferred to the crank rather than the other way around. So what I'm going to do is polish that up the best I can, measure it, see if it's within spec, and drive on from there. What I'm going to do is use some 120 emery cloth first, and I'm going to turn the crank by hand and wrap it around the journal and hold tension with the other hand, and then just move it back and forth. Actually, a wrench would work a little easier on that. Get a wrench on the end of it, like my 1/2-inch driver. Maybe a short 1/2-inch extension, or no extension, and just put the socket on there. That'll work. And just turn that wrench by hand and hold this emery cloth up. And as you can see, it's not like I'm taking a huge amount of material, making a lot of passes, but because the material's wrapped around and the crank is turning in it, I'm not going to sand one side of the journal more than the other. Hopefully, this is 120 grit emery cloth. I already unclogged all the bearing material that was clogged up in the oil galleys or in the oil passages of the crank. So we'll see how this works. So there's the 120. I'm going to take and clean that off real quick. Put that over here for a second. And I'm sure I'm not the only guy that's ever done this. It's been done for years and years and years by tons of people. Sometimes you get good success out of it, and sometimes you don't. But I'm gonna put that fillet up there and take this jeweler's file to it. Just try to take the edges off of it. That chamfer around the oil supply hole was almost plugged with old bearing material. So just getting looking a little better, so trying to stop smoking this week. And this little damn thing not being the right crankshaft definitely isn't helping. So what I've done here is I just put some old bearing halves in the block on number 1 and 5, just the bottom half of a bearing shell in there, and just use some WD-40 to lubricate it a little bit. Now that's a little bit wider piece of emery cloth. It should do a little better job. And we're going to take 50 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 30. Oops. I'm going to lube this for the last few. Just put some cutting lube on there. I'm just going to lube that up. Where was I? 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and 50. That is starting to look reasonable. Rinse a paper towel through it real quick. We'll just spin up a paper towel. Well, we'll have to worry about the side thrust on the crank if it wore that out. So we'll double check that. Not really feeling them too bad with a fingernail. I think I might just polish all of them here in a second. All the rods, anyways. Leave the mains alone. The mains look pretty good. Okay, well, question is this out of round? First check, I'm just going to use a caliper and zero it, loosen it up. It's a digital caliper, and I'm going to compare it to number 4. And I'm just going to lock it. I really don't care what the reading is. I just want to lock it in size. I didn't even get a good lock on it, damn it. Let's try one of my other calipers. Let's go with the old dial caliper. It seems to. So we're going to go with the dial caliper, a little heavier duty tool. Lock it. So now that's got a tight. It's got a snug fit. Now let's see how. Okay, so gonna sit right there, and I'm gonna go left, right. Okay. So now I'm gonna zero this dial caliper, well, by setting the ring to 0, then I'm going to go measure number 4 again, and then I'm going to adjust it to number 1 and see how much smaller it is, because I think it's just a touch smaller. So we're going to loosen the caliper again. I'm going to go top to bottom away from the oiling holes. I'm going to squeeze it nice and tight. I'm going to check the 0. Sometimes you got to do the right thing the wrong way. I'm going to go top to bottom. I'm going to loosen it and squeeze it. I didn't move the 0 dial, I'm just squeezing the caliper. And I'm going to check it and see if there's a discernible, and there's not even a discernible at this point difference in diameter. And that's to the 1,000th of an inch. Or sorry, to the 10,000ths of an inch. So it might be 1,000th smaller right now. So I'm going to go back to some 200 grit, and I'm going to hit them all real quick. I'm just going to fold this up rather than cutting it. Fold it up to about the same width as the bearing surface. I used to have a pair of scissors out here in the garage, but they've grown legs. So I'm just going to fold this up to the width of the bearing surface, and if it hits the thrust surface of the rods, that's a little bit, that's okay. It's only 200 grit. It's not going to destroy anything. Okay, and I'm going to do 50 on each one once I get it in there. Oh, getting tired. Like I said, I got to stop smoking so that just loosen that up in there a little bit. There we go. My neurosurgeon will fuse my neck, so I got some pretty good vertigo going on. That is a little too wide. These bearings, and these are not near the rod sides right on for the thrust on all the rods, just the rod against the crank. That's what you get for thrust on these. The bearing itself is narrower than the rod. So I go back the other way with that. Got the 200 ready. Hold it up here. We're going to go 50 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. And pretty much all I'm just getting off it is dirt at this point. So hit 50 turns on number 2. Not going to hurt at this point. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Oh, right in the kneecap. 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. That's warming me up. Take this stupid hat off and the other stupid hat off. And I'm going to move back to number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. And number 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and 50. Okay, let's wipe them off again. Poor man's crank polishing. It's how people have been doing it at the racetrack or other places like that, where you have to have something back in together and running same day, and you don't really think you damaged or cracked the crankshaft. I've seen top fuel guys do it. Of course, they're going to tear it apart in 20 minutes, but I think I've seen worse. I've ran worse crankshafts. Really cleaned up pretty well. Here, let's get a good look at it before I take a little break. So a nice comparison right there between number 1 and 4. Number 4 didn't have any spun bearing on it. Number 1 did. It came out pretty good. So the next step is to go get the new rods. Hope I get one good one out of them. Put some rod bearings in them. And I'm gonna plastic gauge that particular journal and probably one of the others and just see what we end up with.